On a cold winter day, we gathered the last of the hydrangea blooms and we combined them with these dollar Christmas trees. They've got a realistic look with wire and plastic leaves. They were the perfect shortcut for making these colorful topiaries. We'll show you how to make them with love for a country house. We made this first topiary tree using an artificial tree that was about 30 inches tall, and we were able to press the hydrangea blooms in among the branches, and they were held there without any extra wiring except a little bit at the bottom. But we hadn't thought ahead to what kind of decorations we could use because it was pretty fragile. But then we decided we'd make smaller topiaries of fresher hydrangeas, and now we're using them year-round. They work with spring decorations like these rabbits, or they work with Christmas decorations too, and then back around to spring. So now we're able to grow some hydrangeas in our shady garden, and we also know of some commercial properties nearby that have acres of them. Capturing that color when they're dry is a little tricky. You've probably heard about how you can leave a hydrangea in water for a long time to help preserve it, but what we found is if we also kept it under a light 24 hours a day while the water was evaporating, and we used an LED shop light, we were able to retain a lot of that beautiful blue powdery color. But many of them were faded, even though they had these nice full shapes. So what we decided to do with some of the better blooms was to spray paint them. And we used a lot of greens and blues. One of our favorite colors was Rust-Oleum Wildflower, but you can even use cranberry shades, which we did in our first topiary. We just put the blooms in a box and then layered the paint, and you don't have to get full coverage. Spotty coverage and incomplete coverage is actually best. So now we're prepping the little Christmas trees, and you just need to spread out the branches because they usually come folded up. And you're going to be trimming away the bottom ones to create the topiary stem, and you'll be trimming away some on the sides. But because these branches are a lot more smaller than the larger trees, we're going to tape some floral foam to the stem in between the branches, and then by breaking off the hydrangea blossom stem to about 4 or 5 inches, we're able to press them into the foam and create our globe. Our globe's a little exuberant and overhangs the sides of the pot, but a good design trick, which we're going to do next time, is to try to match the size of the globe with the size of the base. And it would be fun to make the stem a lot taller too. We secured our tree inside some flower pots and covered it with some natural moss. You can use peas, beans, Easter grass, or marbles. And now we're ready to embellish our topiary. Hydrangeas will shed a lot of petals while you're working with it, but they're sturdy enough you can press it into that globe shape. We tucked in some roses that we had painted, and we also used this really pretty color shift flash green paint, putting it on with a cotton swab on any of the petals that looked a bit bland. But you could also use silk flowers instead of natural blooms and paint. And silk flowers can be colored too. We'll leave a link to how we did this. We just rubbed the petals with some chalk after dipping them in some water, and you can blend it with some baby wipes, and you can make some really interesting color shifts even on store-bought silk blooms. Here we are putting in some finishing touches, and this display can be changed around season after season and refreshed with new flowers and new decorations and so on. Pretty colorful, isn't it? For tutorials to some of our other decorations, check out our website, steffiemccarthy.com, and click the sun logo to subscribe. See you later.